Hi, my name is Sierra. I want to start my speech off today with a story about myself from high school. It can be a bit of a vulnerable topic, but I think it's a very important and relatable topic. When I was in high school, I didn't really know how to be a good student, as some people would put it. I did not take very good care of myself. I was in all AP classes, I was on the cheer team, I was involved in a lot of extracurricular activities, and I also had a part-time job at our local hardware store. So needless to say, I was very busy. This busyness led to a lot of unhealthy habits, such as drinking sometimes 3 energy drinks a day, which is so bad for you. I'd also eat really unhealthy. I would eat cup of noodle, top ramen, anything that was just kind of easy and grab and go because I was always out the door. I would also have mental breakdowns about my schoolwork at least twice a week, which is super unhealthy. And there were also times where I'd be driving to school and all of a sudden I'd just find myself crying. It wasn't because I was sad. I had friends at school, I had a great support system at home, a very loving family, and I was a happy person. I just didn't know how to handle my stress and my anxiety and everything and how to balance everything going on in my life. I could always talk to my mom, but there was only so much she could say to make me feel better. Eventually she told me that it might be a good idea to go talk to a counselor or find someone to talk to of how to handle all these things going on in my life. My school didn't have anyone, and I didn't have really time to go see anyone or drive anywhere to go see a counselor, so I always just kind of pushed my mental health to the side and continued on with my daily activities. When I got to college my freshman year, some of these bad habits stayed with me. I finally realized that for my own health, it would be a good idea to finally go talk to a counselor. And it was so easy to make an appointment at the health center, and it was nice that I didn't have to drive anywhere. Everything I needed was right on campus. I ended up going to these sessions about once a week, and through these sessions, I really learned how to handle my stress and my school anxiety, and I learned how to manage all the tasks in my life and how to balance things. And most importantly, I learned how to say no to things that I knew I couldn't handle, and I knew how to delegate better, and I knew what I could handle and what I needed help with. So it was through those sessions, it was really, really good to learn a lot about myself and my own mental health. So that's why for my speech, I'm passionate about telling you guys why I think all high school campuses should have readily available mental health resources. Whether that be a counselor or a school-based health clinic that has mental health counselors, or maybe even a class or something that educates students on how to maintain or improve their mental health. I mean, we have classes about physical education, so why not mental education? As seniors in the nursing program, I think we all have a pretty good idea on what mental health is. But if not, mental health is our emotional, psychological, and social well-being. It affects how we think, how we feel, and how we act towards others. It also determines how we handle stress and how we relate to others. I was talking to a couple of my peers, some non-nursing major peers, and I just kind of wanted to gain their insight on what they thought the stigma around mental health was. And based off their answers, they thought the stigma was if you have mental health issues, you're crazy. Or if you don't have mental health issues, then you're better than everyone because you know how to control them. People also think that mental health isn't a problem because it's not something that's physically wrong with you that you can fix. People often think too that if you have mental health issues, you're sad or you're depressed or you may even be psychotic if you admit that you have mental health issues. This is not at all what I think about when I think of mental health. I believe that everyone should practice mental health on a daily basis to become the best version of themselves that they can be. Why are so many people ashamed to admit that they're taking care of themselves mentally? We talk all the time about how we're physically taking care of ourselves by going to the gym and exercising and eating healthy, but physical exercise isn't the only thing that matters. Mental health is important too. I read a few studies that suggest mental health is the key to physical health. In a study in 2012, they found that individuals who have mental health issues do less for their physical health. So, for example, those with mental health issues are less likely to partake in healthy exercise routines or eating healthy. So ultimately, their mental health had a direct negative effect on their physical health. So now that I've talked a little bit about what mental health is, I want to talk about how it relates to adolescents specifically, because this is the age group that I think mental health should be really big in education for. So this time period for this age group is critical for mental, social, and emotional well-being and development. During adolescence, the brain undergoes significant developmental changes, and it establishes neural pathways and behaviors that are eventually going to last into adulthood. There's a quote from an article I read that states, "The adolescence's developing brains, coupled with their hormonal changes, makes them more prone to depression and more likely to engage in risky, thrill-seeking behaviors. So these factors are what makes it so important to educate this age group about mental, social, and emotional health. I also found some statistics from the National Alliance on Mental Illness that states 50% of all lifetime cases of mental illness begin by age 14, and 74% by the age of 24. There are also statistics that show mental health problems lead to poor school performance, school dropout, and strained family relationships. So with all these statistics and knowledge that we have, it makes no sense to me why we're not targeting this age group and educating them about mental health so that way they can create behaviors and patterns now early on in life that will last into adulthood. So overall, I think that teaching students earlier on in life about mental health is going to lead to those better behavioral practices, which is going to better set them up for success as they emerge into adulthood. I know that if I had mental health resources on my high school campus, I would have learned earlier in life how to better take care of my mental health and how to be the best me that I can be. And finally, I want to leave you with this quote by Michelle Obama. It's one of my favorite quotes that I've ever read. And it says, "At the root of this dilemma is the way we view mental health in this country. Whether an illness affects your heart, your leg, or your brain, it's still an illness and there should be no distinction." And I could not agree more. So thank you for taking the time to listen to my speech on why I think all high school campuses should have mental health resources. Have a good day. Bye.